Hello and welcome back to the Finding Your Feet podcast, a podcast show dedicated to helping you get close to your true authentic self by helping you find your feet in life.
Welcome back, guys. Today is our 100th episode of the Finding Your Feet podcast. We are still standing 100 episodes in. We're still here, and you guys are still on the journey with us.
I know, it's crazy. I can't believe we're at 100 episodes. And yeah, probably some of the people that are listening are like, been here from the start. It's 100 episodes.
And a lot of the people that join us later on the journey, they do actually go and start from the beginning and listen to all the episodes up, which, you know, massive respect to you guys. That is dedication to the content. But yeah, it's crazy, 100 episodes. We're like crazy. Real official podcasters now. We're in the triple digits.
Yeah, when we first started, I remember always thinking like, oh my God, when we get to 100 episodes, like that'd be so official, like 100 episodes. And now we're here.
So yeah, so we're doing something a little bit different today. We are going through our favourite nuggets of wisdom that our top 3 favourite guests have brought onto the show. Obviously, we love all of our guests. But when we were thinking, right, what is the main things that we can literally, from the top of your head, remember that a guest has said that's been so, like, pivotal and, like, transformational piece of advice or really, like, powerful information, these 3 people came to mind and specific things they said. So you might have listened to these episodes before, you might have not, but even if you have listened to them before, you might have even forgot the wisdom that they've said. So we're going to go, we're going to hash them back up and talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've loved every single guest. But yeah, when we were thinking back, like, these are the main ones that they just said something and it's literally like either changed the way we thought or just like planted like a little seed in our hearts. And I think as well with things like this is to like really learn it and implement it into your life. Like, you have to re-listen to it in a way. So if you have listened to these episodes, it'll be really good to listen to these snippets that we've taken out. And if you haven't listened, then you can go back and listen to the full episodes because they're all amazing.
Yeah. So when we were like re-listening to the episodes to pull out the bits that were that slaps, the whole episode, I was like, wow, straight facts being fired out here. Because I think that when you, depending on where you are in your life, like things fall when they need. So like you don't, so like there's things in the episodes that I was like that hit different now than did like, you know, a few months ago when they were actually recorded. So yeah,
it's actually made me want to go back and listen to like all of them, to be honest.
But before we jump into the episode, we're going to talk about on experiences that we had at the weekend doing something we've never done before. You've never done it before, have you? Or have you?
No, not in like the cold. I've done it in summer, but not in cold.
Well, what did we do in the cold? You might be wondering, what are you talking about? So we have mentioned this on the podcast before, and quite a few of our listeners actually do it themselves. And, you know, it's like quite a well-known, I wouldn't say it's that common because I think people still aren't really doing it, but it's a very like well-known thing to kind of do now that's like really good for you. Basically, it's October here in the UK and we're in autumn. So summer's gone. It's cold, it's dark, you know. We went jumping in freezing cold rivers and lakes at the weekend. Yeah.
It was so fun though. I really enjoyed it and you actually inspired me to do it. Although you were quite sensible in your wetsuit. I just went in.
It wasn't full body. Don't everyone think that
No, it looked really good.
That I chickened out. It was like cycling short length, okay? So I was protected around my organs from super cold. But, yeah.
No, but I think... No, but that is kind of what you meant to do. So, like, obviously, what day did you jump in? It was on...
Saturday morning, I jumped in the river.
Yeah, and you inspired me. So on Monday, I went and jumped in a lake. And honestly, I was so close to not doing it. It was cold. The sun wasn't even out. And there was people, like, in the lake, but they were in literally, like, full wetsuit, thing over it, like, everything. But I was like, you're just going to have to go for it.
You just bombed in your You look like you're wearing a top. Were you wearing a...
It was a top. It wasn't even a swimming costume.
Why did you not put a swimming costume
I didn't have anything on. We went for a walk, like literally down to the
Oh,
lake.
and you thought YOLO.
Yeah,
jump
exactly.
in.
And I was like, we need to
okay.
finish this trip by jumping in. I didn't even have a towel with me or anything. I had no towel. I just had my joggers and like a leotard thing on. So I just took my joggers off and jumped in my leotard.
How long did it take to walk back to the hotel from that?
Oh, it wasn't the
Did you
hotel.
get
It
really
was
cold?
It was on the way home. We had drove to this other place called like Long. I can't remember what it's called. We drove to this other place on the way home from the lakes. So the car was like just like a 10-minute walk, but it was quite a long 10-minute walk when I was that cold.
You didn't have a towel?
No.
I'm surprised you didn't get sick.
I know, I'm quite surprised as well. But what I was surprised at was how like amazing you feel. Like I know everyone says you feel really good after it, but like I actually couldn't believe how like, because you know you jump in, it's so cold, and then I stayed in for only about like 5 minutes maybe, and then I got out and like my whole body just felt like so fresh and like revitalized.
Yeah, it's mad because it's like, you know, it's got loads of health benefits, like really good for your immune system and stuff, but apparently like all the blood basically rushes out of your bones into the top of your skin and like, or something like that. My mum was reading a Chinese medicine book. She was explaining to me. So that's why like your skin goes all red when you do it. But it like makes you feel really fresh, but it also makes you feel proper fresh up here. Like makes you feel really sharp and focused and like obviously very present because you're not thinking about anything else other than the fact that you're freezing your tits off. But it's it does really sharpen your mind and make you feel really clear and like good.
Yeah, it was so good. Yeah, because we were also like on our way back from the lakes and we were a bit like, oh, trip is over. And then we went and jumped in. And afterwards we were like, I could take on the world now. Felt absolutely amazing. Like I actually reckon I could do it all the time.
Did Joel jump in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He jumped in first, but he got straight back out. Whereas I jumped in and then I couldn't get back out. I couldn't get off onto the jetty. I've actually bruised my knee trying to get on. So I was like, I'm just going to have to swim around and then actually come out. So in the end, he was literally in for like 30 seconds and I was in for like 5 minutes. I was like,
Yeah, I think I went in for about 8 minutes.
That's good.
But I was in a river, so you walk your way in. You don't like jump in like what you did. So you ease your way in.
I think I would have struggled to ease my way in.
Yeah.
You know, like when you jump in, you just got to go for it. But I was a bit scared. I kept saying, am I going to be all right? Am I going to be all right? But then I suppose it wasn't actually like that cold when you actually think about cold water swimming. Do you know what I mean? People do it much, much colder. So I was like, I'd be fine. But no, I think we should do it. Like,
Yeah, we need to do it together.
Yeah, 100%.
And we'll film it and put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just come and follow us at Find Your Feet Podcast for that exclusive content.
Yeah, because if we did that every morning, like, I know a lot of people do it as like part of a morning routine. Like, you would feel amazing.
Yeah.
It would just bring you into the present moment.
Yeah.
Feel refreshed and then just go about your day.
Yeah. And that's what this weekend was all about for me because I took a social media detox and I deleted my social media apps for 3 days and I just, you know, and I didn't really go on my phone that much, you know, just a few WhatsApps. But if I was going out, like I left it at home, like I didn't take it to the jump in the river and all of that. And I was just like really focused on being with what life was offering me right in front of my eyes that day. And just being present, you know, because I think that you've got to make a choice to sometimes filter out your world, you know, and yeah, I just like, we obviously have to spend a fair bit of time on social media anyway because we like promote our podcast on there, so you're on there, you're making content and stuff, but I mean I do love a scroll on my own Instagram as well, so I can't really just blame it all on that. But yeah, just took some time out. If you're on our mailing list then you will have heard about my weekend of detox. But I mean, if you guys feel a bit like, oof, yeah, I need to tap out, I very much recommend you have a little digital detox and really just, you know, it's really good. I've read so much, like I meditated a lot. You know, I jumped in a river, I climbed a mountain. I just was present with life. You know, it's good.
Yeah, I feel like it's so nice to have like a little digital detox because you can just like get so used to just like spending time on Instagram and stuff and like not even realize how like much more peaceful you can actually feel if you take a break and step back from it and focus on like your world.
Yeah, because there's so much on so much information on the internet of things that you're like absorbing that maybe you don't actually really want to absorb. And then, you know, like it's just quite nice sometimes to actually make an empowered choice about what's coming into your realm. And having time out. It's good.
Yeah, because imagine like actually spending like a month with no phone.
One time my phone broke, and this was like 2-3 years ago. It like just, you know, when you smash your phone, you get fixed by a dodgy person.
Oh yeah,
instead
I
of
did
taking
that.
it to Apple, and then, you know, your phone just gives just crashes and dies a few months later. I had that, and I had to order a new phone, but I don't know why it took me like a week to get it, and so I had like no phone for a week, and I have never felt more free in my life.
Yeah, no.
But it was a bit weird. Like when I was meeting friends, I remember like I was at work and I was in the office and I was meeting a friend that night. It's like Friday night, and I was like, I had to log into Facebook on my computer. I'm like, meet me outside this shop on Oxford Street at this exact time. I have no phone, so if you're not there, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, and when I had to like go and like get my new phone, I had to go pick it up from like depot, whatever, because like I was at work, so they couldn't like leave it at home, so I had to go and pick it up, and it was like I had to go and get the tube and then walk ages somewhere, and obviously I had no phone to get me there, so I like printed out directions and everything. I went right back to, you know, day one when
That is so extreme, printing out directions.
yeah, but I felt so free. It was mad.
Yeah, isn't that so funny that like we think that phones keep us connected, but you feel more free without it?
Yeah, I mean, I do like having a phone so I can like talk to my friends, and you guys can listen to these podcasts. You know, it is good, but yeah, no, it's good to take a bit of like peace time out. So it makes you feel amazing. So, you know, treat yourself, guys, if you fancy it. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Just delete the apps. Everyone will be waiting for you when you come back. They also won't care that you left. They won't even notice.
Yeah, that's so true. You think, oh, maybe people will notice. And it's like, no one really notices. I don't notice when my friends do it either. I'm like, oh, what's you? Didn't even notice.
But that is enough of our random tangent. Before we jump into the 100th episode special, we just have a quick word from our sponsor, the people who have been with us for the last 75 episodes or something, supporting us on the journey to help bring this content to you. BetterHelp, and they are an online therapy company who will set you up with a therapist in just 2 days of you setting up an account with them.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't be where we are without our incredible sponsor, BetterHelp. And they really just align with us perfectly, as we're always talking about how you can better your own mental health. So to provide an online counselling service that you can then go to for support is just incredible. And they have a huge range of expertise. So whatever you feel like you need support for, they can find the right therapist for you. And then once you're matched with your therapist, if you actually think, oh, I want a slightly different therapist, I'm not getting what I want, you can actually change for free until you're happy.
And BetterHelp services are available for clients all over the world. So wherever you're listening to this podcast now, because we've got a growing global audience in many different countries, you can access BetterHelp. And they are also very kindly giving our listeners a 10% discount off your first month of therapy. Therapy can sometimes be a bit expensive, which is what gets in the way of people, you know, going and actually getting the help that they need that can really change their life. So BetterHelp want to make therapy accessible for everyone. So their price points are already much more affordable than traditional offline counselling. But on top of that, you, as a Find Your Feet listener, are going to get a 10% discount off your entire first month of therapy with them. So to get this discount, all you need to do is go to the link betterhelp.com/finding your feet. That's betterhelp.com/finding your feet, and that'll get you 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp.
Yeah, and therapy is just such a transformative journey. You'll even hear in this episode, we'll probably discuss how therapy has changed our own lives. So if you are on the fence about it, if you have any questions at all, just head over to Instagram at Finding Your Feet Podcast, and we're very happy to answer any questions.
But that's all for now. Let's jump into the 100th anniversary special.
Okay, so the first person whose clip we have pulled for our 100th anniversary special is the incredible Estelle Bingham. who was introduced to us actually on Roxy Nafusi's podcast, and she is a holistic therapist and energy healer, and she's just incredible, isn't she?
She is a powerful lady.
Very
Magical
powerful.
lady.
She's probably like one of the most magical people I've ever met in my whole entire life. And if you've listened to the episode, you will know the magic within her. And if you haven't, then you are in for a treat. And also one of the reasons that we actually brought Estelle onto the show was because I went and saw her for around 7 sessions in London and just had the most incredible time. There were hard bits, amazing bits, but it really has transformed my life on that journey with her. So we couldn't wait to invite her onto the show to tell us all about how we can really unblock our unconscious minds and just attract the life that we really desire.
Yeah. And, you know, as an observer of your life, can confirm she works.
Yeah, she definitely does. It's just the energies and everything, isn't it? So many shifts. It's one of those women that if you ever saw her, worked with her, or even just listened to this podcast, it's a shift in energy.
Mm-hmm. But with all that being said, here is the clip.
Is, you know, when we go into any type of, when you start understanding, and it doesn't have to be a spiritual journey, it can just be, it's just the journey back to self, and however you choose to do that is, you know, is really precious. But there is a conversation to be had with all of the parts of ourselves, and at some point we have to have that conversation with all of the parts of ourselves. And so of course, if we've got that, the, you know, the inner child who we haven't spoken to since, you know, she experienced whatever she experienced, or he experienced whatever he experienced in early childhood or through trauma or whatever it was, you know, your inner child is lost. And so there's that moment where we come back in and we come and we find the wounds, because again, the wounds, these are like the gifts, really. You know, they are the gifts for, once we heal them, for big transformation. So rather than being afraid of them and leaving them in the shadow, because it's like, I don't want to open that closet because it's really spooky, it's really scary, I put a lot of stuff back in there, I'm locking that door. But actually, I kind of see, I have this vision of it being like a house, you know, and people open the door to their house, and often they're just occupying one room, and it looks quite nice and it's really great and it's all good. But actually there's the rest of the house, you know, there's a room upstairs, but all of it belongs to you. And when we can go in there and open the door and open the windows and bring the light in and move the furniture around, then we get to define our own lives, because no trauma has the power to keep you a prisoner. And no other person on this planet has ever done anything to you, or, you know, traumatized you or harmed you, or has the power to keep you in that place, even if they're not still in your lives. And so when we take back our lives, when we go back, we go into that room, we open the door, we go in there, and we really often we're recovering the inner child from that dark place. And she's like, hallelujah, you've actually shown up, like, thank God. Like, and it's really powerful. So there's nothing inside any of us that we can't meet. We have the power to meet all of it. You know, when people see me, they often, some people think, oh, I don't know what my purpose is, I can't find it, I don't know it. And it's like, it's there. You know, no one gets to come onto earth plane without one. You are not the only person on the planet who didn't get a purpose. Every single human being has a purpose. And it may be buried deep within you, but it's there. So when we think about that journey back into the heart, when we ask the question, well, why do I need to drop in? Why do I need to go on that inner journey? Because you're going to find yourself. You're going to find yourself in there, right?
Yeah.
And the gift that you are, like the gift that you are, the gift that you will be, and you are the gift that the planet is waiting for. So whether it's to raise a consciousness of the planet with a podcast, it's not always about saving the world. Sometimes it's just about showing up, and that day just showing up. And you know what? Like, you look out and you know, and it's a good day, and I'm going to go for a walk, and I feel good about myself. You don't. That might be your purpose in the lifetime. It might just be to feel like you're enough. It doesn't have to be like and all singing, all dancing, but that's just going to make you, you know, a better friend to yourself, to the people that are close to you. It's going to make you a better parent. It's going to make you, you know, a better a part of, you know, that who you are in your community. You're just going to show up and be really present, and it's enough. So, but to connect in with that is like what it's all about.
I just loved everything she said in that episode, and I feel like each time you listen, like you said, it lands differently. And one of my favourite things about it is that no matter what you've been through, probably as a listener, you heard her words then, and they probably landed for you, especially with like trauma and stuff. She'll always validate what you've been through. Yeah. And I think when you have that validation, it really helps you work through it and let it go, because those kind of things in life, they're what can weigh us down. Like, you can live your whole life like thinking about a trauma and event that you've not let go of, but like she gives you that permission, she validates it, like it's time to let go and heal your inner child.
Yeah, because I think often with like trauma and things like that, or any kind of event memory that you've got that's still, you can vividly remember it because it upset you in some way. I think that a lot of the time it's hard to move on from it because we don't validate ourselves for it. We're like, oh, brush under the carpet, oh no, it wasn't their fault, or it was my fault, or so, do you know what I mean? Like, instead of just being like, you know, this happened, heal, or whatever. But I love what she was saying about how no trauma or person can make you a prisoner. So even if that person's still in your life, or they're out of your life, like, because I think after something happens to you, like, you can ruminate on it, and even though like you like she said in the episode, 2 ships in a night, or that quote, like 2 passing ships in a night, it wasn't to do with what this, but she just said it anyway. But even though like you've parted ways with maybe that person that caused you trauma, or they've even, you know, passed away or anything, like they're not in your life, you can still be, that energy of it can still linger around you and still hold you back, even though the you know the moment's obviously gone, and the actual person and the relationship or whatever it was has disintegrated as well. And I don't know why. It's weird, isn't it, why we hold on to things like that. I think when she said that, it's a very empowering thing for people to hear, because I think a lot of people don't let themselves let go, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose it's maybe that like think of like, this traumatic thing happened to me, so if I like replay it, it kind of not validates, but like kind of reminds you of what you've been through. But that's not always helpful, I think. It's kind of like energy cores, you know, like you got energy cores to a trauma, and I think a lot of time healing and letting it go is very powerful, and it's not always the easiest thing. I think obviously she says in the episode about how you have to go into all the rooms, and not everyone wants to do that, they just work on one room. You have to go into all the rooms in the house and really clear out your unconscious. But that's what she does. She holds your hand, and that's what all therapists do. They really will just hold your hand and help you realize that you are the greatest healer and you can completely heal yourself. But they just hold your hand and walk into the rooms with you.
Amazing. But I also loved was her saying about, when we're talking about purpose, and when she said your purpose can just be to realize that you're enough. I think that's such an amazing thing, because I think that so many people put pressure on their purposes and what is it, and it can be something as simple as that. Yeah,
exactly. And I think often believing you're not enough is what stands in the way of your purpose flourishing. So like actually just believing you're enough can lead to your purpose, which is so beautiful. I loved that episode so much. I'm very grateful we got to speak to her and pick her brains.
So if you want to listen to the full episode with Estelle, just head to episode 81 to hear our full conversation. And our second clip of the 100th anniversary special is from Mo Gawdat, who was one of our most profound guests and just one of the most profound people in the world, honestly. His mindset is fucking incredible, pardon my French, but it's absolutely life-changing how he thinks. And he's doing the rounds on the podcast right now because he's just releasing his new book, Scary Smarts. There's a lot of content of Mo out there, so go and immerse yourselves in it. But we have a little clip here from our conversation with him. His general sort of philosophy is that happiness is a choice, and he's got like basically a mathematical equation that it will help you basically be happy, and it's that your happiness is greater than or equal to your expectations of how your life should be. So if life is meeting, so if you've got a current situation that you're not happy with, the reason you're not happy with it is because it's not playing out how you expected it to play out, how you think it should play out. So happiness is in it, accepting it as what it is, and doesn't mean like accepting shite all the time, but as in, even if it's something that, like, you know, this situation really is not good, it doesn't mean, oh well, I'll just accept it and I'll just take loads of shit and I'll make myself be happy. It's like accepting it as is and then taking the action to change it or whatever, rather than like dwelling and stewing and making yourself unhappy. He's very much about taking control of your brain, being the boss of your brain, and like mastering your thoughts. And in the modern world and the way that we think and do everything that we do, his philosophy is life-changing, because it completely solves all of the stuff we all think and have problems with, and all the self-inflicted pain we put on ourselves that I'm really realizing just through current mindset of how everybody thinks. So that's his general philosophy on life, which is why you need to go and immerse yourself in Mo. And he's got books and stuff and you should read them, because you'll never think the same again. But this clip that we've picked out is not about that. It's about something else that he said right at the end of the episode, and it brought a tear to our eye.
Yeah, it was so moving, his last point. And it's just so true, like actually immersing yourself in Mo will change your life, because he has studied happiness for years and years and years and years. And even says like he has immersed himself in it for selfish reasons, to make himself like the happiest man on earth, so he can bring that to all you. Like his tips are so easy to implement, but will also change your life. So definitely go into his world and listen to the episode if you haven't yet, or even if you have, go back and listen to it.
Yeah, he's got a very moving story. But without further ado, here's Mo.
We would love to know, because obviously you are a happiness expert. It's something you studied for years and years before you even wrote your book. So a bit more like kind of off topic, but we would love to know, what is a day in the life of you? Like, what do you have, like non-negotiables? I know you say you talk to Becky. We would love to know, like, what are like some more practical tips that our listeners could implement.
Should I be super? I want to be super honest.
Be honest. Be honest. Love honesty.
I am several people at the same time, sadly. So I am a CEO of a very prominent startup. I am a founder of my happiness app, which hopefully comes out in September, which is a fantastic idea. You're probably gonna love it. Co-founder with a very dear friend. It's called Appy. I record my podcast, which is now in the top 2% worldwide. Slow mo. I write. Religiously, at least 2 hours every day, and then I do public speeches, and it's just busy. It really is quite busy. Okay. And I typically work 12-hour days most of the time. Weekends I probably work more, which makes you wonder if I'm happy at all. I'm the happiest person you know. And I'll tell you, hands down, that there are simple things that can. So happiness, is about being able to work 12-hour days and saying, "Oh my God, I love it." Okay, it's about being able to stop if you don't love it immediately and say, "Guys, that's it for me today. I'm not going to attend any more meetings. I'm not going to write anymore. I'm going to play Halo." Oh, by the way, I'm a world champion level of Halo. For anyone listening, I can definitely kick your bum. But yeah, you see, that's my gamer lingo right there. But you see, the idea is very straightforward. Huh? The idea is there are some practices that are um, irreplaceable. Okay, I meditate every single day. I have actually meditated non. I did not miss a day for the last 315 days. Okay.
Wow.
And I measure, right. I work out at least 7 of every 10 days. I don't do the crazy stuff that personal trainers tell us, and I don't do the soft stuff that. But I work out a proper workout that just gets me a little bit close to fatigue, but doesn't kill me. right?
Yeah.
And I actually, when I write, for example, I write 4 books at the same time most of the time, because I don't want it to be a job. I want to, whatever inspires me to be written that day. Uh, I have my morning is mine. I never leave home or go to work or attend meetings or whatever before 11 a.m. People will say, but you're senior and successful. If you, basically, I wake up at 7, 8, and the first couple of hours are completely mine, and then I get ready and leave. Or get ready and engage if you want.
Yeah.
If you're not that senior, wake up at 5. Okay. And 5 means sleep at 9, 10 p.m. and you'll be fine, right? But basically, is the priority for me to stay up until midnight and binge watch Netflix, or is the priority for me to start my mornings with a very, very slow cup of coffee, okay, perfectly made with a lot of attention and a lot of love. Is my priority is to sit down and meditate, is to reflect, is to organize my day, is to not rush through anything, is to read, is to reflect, is to whatever. Okay. And that to me is a very important, this is the most important part of your day, is how you start your day. And then finally, I would say openly, I also work on long-term projects most of the time. So I always define one area of my life that I'm trying to improve, and I'm very patient with me. So I've been empowering my feminine side for the last 6.5 years, very patiently. Okay, doing much better, thankfully. And then the one thing I will tell you, which can trump all of it, is endless unconditional love. Okay, and if you manage to teach yourself that one trait, your life will flip upside down. Okay. There are two kinds of love in the world. There is what I call material love, or conditional love, if you want, which is basically a statement that says, I love you, or I love this because. If there is a because, okay, then it's conditional. So I love her because she makes me happy. That's conditional. If she stops making you happy, you'll stop loving her. Okay. And there is, I love this, period. Okay. And if you get to that stage where you love everything and everyone unconditionally and treat everything and everyone with that love, I promise you, your life will flip upside down. That doesn't mean you don't disagree with people. It doesn't mean you don't take a stand. It doesn't mean that you don't get your rights. By the way, this is part of self love. Okay, but I do everything with love, not with greed, not with hate, not with vengeance, not with all of those negative emotions, that we not with ego. I just treat everything with love. Someone would come and treat me badly, and I will say, if I was born to their parents, raised the way they were raised, gone through their experiences, I would have treated others badly too. Okay. And I will simply in my heart feel love for them, and I will not answer. So one of my typical ways of doing things is I never engage with the negative. And by the way, if you're a public figure and you're in social media, there are always those people that just want to make you feel bad. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, how you how can you be a happiness expert when you're rich? Seriously, I wear $3 t-shirts. Like, it has, what you know about the way I live my life is not relevant. And by the way, it's not right to actually give yourself the right to judge me that way. But I don't engage with it. Okay. I look at that person and I say, if I was going through the difficult time that they must be going through, I would have written the same comment myself. Okay. And if you get that into your life, nothing else matters, because suddenly you will realize that life is actually amazing in every
Yeah.
possible way. If you have a roof on top of your head, if you have one person that loves you in the world, and if you have enough food to eat today, that's it. Okay. And if you're healthy, that's it, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else, believe it or not, is a thought in your brain. Everything else. And the only way to trump all thoughts at the same time is to have that one rule: everything will be viewed through a lens of love. And if you do that, I think it changes everything.
I honestly think that is some of the best advice I've ever received, and yet so simple. I remember after I heard that, like, it really did change the way I looked at things in life. It does give you more acceptance and way, way more compassion for everyone around you, because everyone is just trying their best. And when you come from a place of love, it just makes your life easier, and then the people around you, their life easier, which equals more happiness, just equals more ease.
And that is Mo in a nutshell. He's making things very simple, black and white. This is it. But it's so profound and beautiful, and it's not really how people usually think these days. And I think anything that comes out of his mouth, not, you know, put him on a pedestal, we're all humans, you know, that, but I mean, he's I think he's one of the most profound thought leaders out there at this time. There's nobody that I can listen to and each time hear something like really life-changing. And yeah, Mo Gowdat is the antidote to your problems. So yeah,
she is.
Listen to the full episode. It's episode 77 to listen to our entire conversation with Mo, and go out there and read his books and absorb him on all other podcasts as well, because he does so many interviews and stuff, and he's trying to make 1 billion people happy in the world. So there's endless Mo content on the internet. But I strongly recommend that you dive into his world, because he will change your world.
Yeah, and he does it in such a selfless way as well. You can tell his mission is really just to make
no ego at all.
Yeah, no,
it's
to
one of
make
the kindest people
happy.
I've ever spoken to.
Yeah, literally. I'm just so grateful that we got the opportunity to speak to him on our podcast for you guys to consume. Very, very magical time.
Now for our third and final favourite special clip from our guests over the last 100 episodes. We were joined by Lisa Mcfarland, who is a Irish woman. She's absolute character. She's a relationship coach, and we got her on and we had a whole conversation about how the love that you want, the relationship you want, it starts with you. And she gave a really fresh perspective on that you don't just find the perfect relationship, you don't just find love and stumble on it, like you build it, and you build that amazing relationship that you want with obviously a partner that you're compatible with and have aligned values with and all that stuff. But I think that so many people think because of fairy tales, you know, you're just gonna, like, it's like Cinderella vibes or Sleeping Beauty vibes, but she gave a completely new perspective on relationships, and she's an absolute hoot. She's bloody hilarious as well.
Yeah, she's literally amazing. Like, as soon as we even mentioned her name then, I just had a massive grin on my face, because I just feel like listening to her episode, and anytime I listen to her as well, like, she just soothes your soul, because she gives you such practical advice that you know you can implement into your life, especially within relationships. But she does it in such like a kind, loving and like gentle way. Like, it's really, really lovely to listen to. And yeah, there were so many things she said within there that really changed my outlook on relationships, because she gives you the honest advice that you need, but like I said, in a really nice way. Yeah,
she lays down the facts, and a lot of what she said, I've repeated many times in many episodes since, because I can hear her in an Irish voice saying these things. But we won't say them now. We're going to let Lisa say them. So here's the clip. How do you think that people can, if they have an anxious or an avoidant attachment style, how can they start to, what's the best way for them to move forward to starting to be more secure in their relationship and their attachment style?
It's about being secure in yourself. We have to do the inner work. Again, I thought this was not a thing for your generation, but I came up with, my childhood was Cinderella and all the fairy tales that are so damaging. Disney and I are going to have a serious conversation at some starting stage. That now Moana and such, like Moana and Frozen, are slightly better. But anyway, and also I came up with, Jerry Maguire and Pretty Woman, where it was someone else would complete you and you needed to have this other person. You needed to have this other half. So we are whole the way we are. We are whole, we are complete. And if we want to choose to journey this life with someone, awesome. But you're whole the way you are, girls. You're whole the way you are, guys. Okay? And then you bring that greatness to someone else. And if the relationship works, brilliant. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you were already whole beforehand. So you'll be sad, you'll grieve, but it'll be okay. It'll be all right. Another person does not define who you are. You have to be complete yourself. And you bring that completeness to another person. And that's how you build great relationships. Again, I'm going to put my hands up, even though it's a podcast, but I know I can see you girls. 2 whole people building a relationship. So my hands are up and then my hands fold over. 2 whole people already knowing all their stuff. Can I swear? No. Already knowing all their stuff. Already knowing their so you can figure out your shit. Figure out your shit.
I really loved everything she said there, but my absolute favorite part is the way she really pushes the message of like working on your own self-love journey first, which is something we have always said. Like throughout every single episode, we always kind of emphasis on the fact that you have to build the love from within yourself. Like you really can't rock up to a relationship with your bag of poo, as you would have heard in other episodes. Like you have to work on your own inner world first. And even doing that is a really beautiful journey. So if you have never really done that, then even just starting there, working on your own inner world and then bringing that to a relationship is really beautiful.
Yeah. I will never forget what she said. 2 whole people building a relationship.
You do such a good impression.
Yeah, she's amazing. Good advice. And there's just one last parting words of wisdom from Lisa that you don't want to miss. Here it is.
Do the thing. I saw a great meme one time and it said, I don't want your dick pics. I want your receipts from your counselling courses. You know?
I love that.
Now, when she said that, we absolutely cracked up. As you can imagine, it's bloody funny, but straight facts. Lisa's talking the truth. We don't want to see your dick pics. We want to know if you've been going to therapy, if you know what your attachment style is, if you're working on your childhood trauma, or if you're going to come into a relationship and project loads of shit onto me.
Yeah, exactly. We really don't care about your willy. It's literally like the least of our worries.
Exactly. It's not what's important. But yeah, she's just such a laugh and she gives such great advice. So go and check out episode 65 to hear our full conversation with Lisa and get the romantic relationship advice you all need. As we close up the episode, we thought it would be really nice to share with you, as we have just shared, little nuggets of wisdom from our top 3 favourite moments over the last 100 episodes with guests that have shared these nuggets with us. We thought we would leave you with a little nugget of wisdom from us.
Okay, so mine would be, and it's probably something I've said in previous episodes, but it's definitely just something that's really resonated with me, and it's definitely something that I've learned more recently, is that absolutely no one in life is going to create the life that you desire apart from yourself. Like no one's going to get you out of bed, no one's going to make you happy, no one's going to get you doing your gratitude, no one's going to chase your dreams apart from yourself. And it's not always easy. Like you have to push, and like no one's going to help you get there. Like yeah, people will help you along the way, as in like when you put yourself out there, things will conspire to help you get there. But if you don't take that first step, then you're never going to move forward. You're always just going to be in the same place. So I think you have to have discipline. That'll probably be my main thing. It's like my piece of advice is like really, really work on your discipline and understand that no one's going to save you, but you can do it yourself. Like you have all the power within you to transform your life, whether that's healing, growing, creating the amazing business that you desire. Like you can 100% do it, but no one is going to kick your ass out of bed apart from you.
Yeah, you've got to go first.
Yeah, you just got to take the steps every single day, little bits of discipline to where you want to be. And it will build up over time, even on the days when you feel like you're not moving forward, like you really are. You just have to keep going.
Consistency. Love that. So my little nug of information, of wisdom, is really cliche, but cliche because it's true. Don't give up. Like with anything in your life, like and obviously we've learned this through having a podcast, like, but I mean this applies to all your life. Like we're 100 episodes in and we will keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until I don't know
To a little old granny sat on microphones.
Until it's not whatever. Who knows where the world will change. But keep going. And I keep thinking about this this image, and if you're watching on YouTube, we'll put it on the screen now. The image, and you will have all seen it because it's a famous picture of the guy who's like tunneling towards diamonds, and there's two guys in this thing, and one of them is still going and the other one is like so close to it, and he's turned around and he's walking back the other way because he's given up. And I love that, because on those moments when you feel like I can't do this anymore, and that could be in work, it could be in business, it could just be in that you are like feel depressed and really low, and you're like, I can't go on. But you never know, or you might be in therapy and think, and doing all the things we talk about, meditation, everything, and you feel like nothing's working. But you never know when and you'll keep digging at your spade, you never know when your like breakthrough's going to happen, or when things are going to shift for you, or when you're about to find your gold. And that can be in all parts of your life, not just work things. It can be with your mental health, your physical health, like even if you're trying to manifest something, like you just never know when you're almost there. So think about that guy digging the thing who then walks away when he's really close, because you never know when you're nearly there. So you have to keep going and keep having courage and keep being brave and never give up, and you have to keep going for things you want in your life even when you're getting no results, and that literally applies to like everything in your life. So and that's like the defining trait, I think, that people have, that you admire, like the people you think, oh, how have they got that? Like no one's given anything on a plate. Even the people that make it look easy, like they're actually, trying really hard or whatever, like, and they just haven't given up. So wherever you are in your life right now, if you feel like you're getting no results, or whatever it is, you're on a healing journey, and you feel like I'm still not unblocking myself, or I'm trying to manifest something, it's still not coming, and I'm still at this job and I'm not anywhere, don't give up, because that moment when you decide to pack it all in could be literally the 1% more that you needed to push, that then is going to crack your world wide open.
Yes, I love that so much. I also love how we didn't share our nuggets of wisdom, but they're actually quite similar. Yeah, absolutely amazing though. So true. You never ever know when you're going to have your little break, so you just got to keep going.
Yep. But thank you everyone for joining us for 100 episodes of Finding Your Feet. Hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane, and it inspired you, and go and listen to the guests that we've talked about before. These are the episodes worth going to listen to if you've not listened to them before. But thanks for being on the journey. Thanks for tuning in to 100 episodes. It's pretty cool. 100 more to go.
Yeah, I know, like, where the hell are we going to be on the 200th episode? But yeah, 100% from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for all tuning in every week and listening. Every single download we get means so much, and all of your feedback means so much. So thank you very much.
Yeah. I always like, when I look at our stats and our download numbers, you can look at it per day, how many people are listening to things, and I always like envision all those people in a room, and I'm like, those people turn up and listening to you say something and share something, giving you their time. Like, I think so many people like look at numbers on a screen as not real people, but I always think about everyone as a real fucking person, and there's a lot of people. It's cool. So thank you for that.
yeah, it's amazing.
But if you want to dive deeper into our world and into your own personal growth journey, come and take a look at our website, findingyourfeetpodcast.com, and shop our range of meditations and affirmation playlists that we have made specifically themed to support your personal growth journeys and get you to where you want to be, give you that little motivation to keep going, and help, make big shifts for you and change your life.
Yeah, exactly. And they're only $3.99 for each affirmation or meditation, and then you have lifetime access, and you can play them whenever you like, especially in times like the morning. Put your affirmations on, get you on that really high vibe, ready for the day.
So just head to our website, findyourfeetpodcast.com, or go to the link in the show notes to shop yours now. If our podcast has helped you over the last 100 episodes, we would love to hear your feedback on Apple Podcasts. So if you go and leave us a review and let us know how we have impacted you over the last 100 episodes, what do you love about the show? We love hearing all your unique stories of how the show has differently affected all of your lives in such different ways. It really, it just inspires us so much, and we love hearing it. So please do go and leave us some feedback on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. When we receive all your messages on Instagram, it really is so heartwarming, but also just seeing them on an Apple Podcast for you really helps with the growth of Finding Your Feet. So if you could also leave a review, we'd be so, so grateful.
But that's all for now. Thanks for joining us for the 100th episode special, and we will see you next Wednesday.